Okay, the St. Louis Blues fire coach Mike Yeo. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. Mike Yeo wasn't surprised either because 2, 3 weeks ago he said my job should be in question because of how poorly they were doing. St. Louis has lost. Not only have they lost 3 of the last 4 games, but they were shut out in 3 of the last 4 games as well. They're third last in the league right now with 19 points. Only LA sits at the bottom with 15. Pittsburgh has 18. It's just a mess there. And last year, St. Louis missed the playoffs by only 1 point. And they had traded Paul Stastny, about a month or so before the deadline or whatever it was for some picks. And because he was going to become a UFA, didn't want to pay him. And they still, they missed the playoffs by just 1 point. So Doug Armstrong makes all these moves. He gets Perron as a UFA who played last year with Vegas. He gets O'Reilly in a trade with Buffalo. He picks up Tyler Bozak as the third line center UFA from Toronto. And Hutton, the backup Hutton, has to go, who had a really good year last year because they didn't want to pay him, and he went to Buffalo. And they picked up Chad Johnson, which isn't bad. He's a decent backup. But I mean, all of a sudden, St. Louis looks really, solid down the middle. They also picked up Maroon. Yeah, I always mix up Maroon and Spooner. Maroon. But Craig Button from the TSN made an interesting point. Made a few interesting points. In any case, he said the St. Louis special teams were good. And that's the result of coaching. Their goaltending, not so much. And how much can coaching, how much can the coach really do about that? As opposed to, say, the GM by making a trade. And then, 5-on-5, the St. Louis is slow. Those were his comments, and he's got a point. Steen, Shen, Bozak, O'Reilly, even to a certain extent, Maroon. I mean, those guys aren't exactly fleet of foot. St. Louis is like a younger, deeper version of Los Angeles Kings, who are super slow and in last. So, in this day and age in the league, everything is about speed. And if you don't have it, you're not winning. And, yeah, St. Louis is not winning. So, what's he going to do? Can a coach fix this? I don't know. I mean, everyone's saying, go out and get Joe Quenneville, just recently fired from the Chicago Blackhawks. Can he really help the St. Louis Blues? Can any coach really do anything about this team right now? Or does it need a reconstruction? And if you were Joe Quenneville, would you even want to take the job? I mean, if I'm Joe Quenneville, I'm saying, and Doug Armstrong calls me, I'd be like, listen, you find yourself, like a Frederick Anderson, you find yourself a real good goaltender, or at least someone who's got a lot of good potential, because Allen just isn't cutting it. That experiment's over. He's just mentally fragile. He's too up and down. He's too streaky, and the experiment's been going on for years now. And Chad Johnson he's a backup. So I start off with that, and then I'd say, okay, well, your defense is deep enough, but you need to get younger in your forward group and faster, obviously. So that's when you start picking apart that bunch. I mean, and how would you do that? There's, of course, the obvious. There's a lot of talk between the Maple Leafs about trading for Nylander. Paryenko Nylander trade. I would think Toronto would want more than just Paryenko, probably a draft pick as well, but maybe that's a start. In any case, yeah. What do they do? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. What would you do? Would you hire any of the other coaches out there? Maybe I missed Alain Vigneault. There's another one who possibly might be able to come in. But again, what are they going to do, really? Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you have any Hockey Geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.